But it's interesting. And case in point, I want to bring this up. This is interesting. People talking about this. This is insane. Living in the same times, boy. I want to share what one of our Board of Education members said about the passing of Fred Smith, the founder of FedEx. And Towanna Murphy, she's a very controversial figure in Memphis politics. Unique character. She's definitely a character. Former protege of the late great Thaddeus Matthews, Thaddeus Augustus Matthews, the cussing pastor. I want to share what she said about Fred Smith passing recently and the backlash she got from it. And I'm going to give my spiel about it. Let me see. And this We All Be News Free Dixie for the 21st century. One love, baby, baby. Now, this was Towanna Murphy shared about the passing of Fred Smith. I gotta make sure I got it big enough. Yeah, it's big enough. Is it big enough? It satisfy you? Yeah, it satisfy y'all. She said, I worked for FedEx for 8 months. And one day I checked the assistant manager. Check means like insult the dozens. I know that's a Memphis thing. What I didn't know was my mic was on and every manager and CEO heard me cut up sideways. I knew I was fired, but they were too busy laughing because I called her a black chia pet with a side part and a jerry curl looking SSA, running backwards. I knew I was good and fired. My manager, Ron Brooks, couldn't even write me up because he was too busy laughing. His manager stated that Mr. Fred Smith overheard me and said, "What did she call her?" Rest well, Mr. Smith. They trusted me enough to move cocaine and weed and cash off the trucks. Thank you. They said they trusted me enough to move cocaine and weed and cash off the trucks. Thank you. So people got upset about that, very much in their feelings about that. And I thought I read it. And I was like, what? And I read it again. Read it some more. Oh, okay. I got you. Got you, Tawana. But people were upset. They were calling for a head, calling for a resignation. And like she's a very colorful, controversial figure. Like she's a Jackie of many trades and all that stuff. And she's very opinionated. But I said she was trained by Thaddeus Matthews. That was his girl at one point. It fell out. It is what it is. That's life. But she even was a blues recording artist at one point. She just do a little thing on TV, doing commentary, stuff like that. But what I want to say is I actually had no problem with her saying what she said. I thought she was being authentically herself. She took the post down. I would have kept the post up. And she made her rounds, even went on local television, apologizing, saying that people misinterpret what she said. I understood what she said. And there's really no need to apologize, to be honest with you. But, people, they worry about their little positions and stuff like that. And, she made enough powerful enemies for them to go off on. I'll show a picture to Tawanna Murphy. Interesting character. This is a character. We got a lot of characters in Memphis. So We All Be News Free Dicks for the 21st century. This is Sister Towanna right here. Very gifted, endowed with a lot of gifts. She's very, very gifted and endowed with a lot of gifts. And then let me see if I can find something. Let me see. That's her too. A little playful self. This is actually doing our induction to the 300 special group of people, 300 moral leaders. Shout out to Cam McKenzie and the House of McKenzie. So this is back on April 4th, 2021. We was wearing we supposed to be social distancing and wearing masks, and then we had to wear a certain color mask. And so she was being playful right there. But my thing is, I saw no harm in what she said. I really don't, because the situation is that people are weird at selective outrage, especially when it comes to certain type of people. Like I piss off people all the time. I just found out that a lot of folks don't like me in Memphis. I didn't realize that until a couple weeks ago. I've been dealing with it. I'll be all right. But The thing about it is, she didn't really say anything wrong. That was her department duty, because people send everything through FedEx. That includes legal stuff as well as the illegal things, illegal contraband, including drugs and weed and all that stuff. Illicit gains that comes through FedEx. I mean, FedEx is one of the biggest couriers on the planet. Uh, but anyway, I did think that she made a lot of powerful enemies, and just want to see her gone because the way she is in public, and she's just being herself. And my thing is, it's fun. It's funny to me how people can have such harsh criticism for Black people, whether they act the part or don't act the part. My thing about Fred Smith is the fact that Fred Smith, he actually killed people by accident. From my understanding, he was involved in two vehicle accidents. One was a hit and run. A handyman died, and nothing came of that. From my understanding, with my research, he had bond for $250, and he was able to beat that. And then I guess he was home from college, whatever. On the way to the lake, car flipped over, killed the passenger in the seat. So he had two civilians that died at the hands of Fred Smith. And I'm not saying this to disparage Fred Smith or his legacy. What I'm saying is he was able to redeem himself through his work. Whatever may have happened with those vehicle tragedies, he was allowed the chance to be redeemed. He committed himself to serving people. People service profit is the moniker. People service profit. No, he put a lot of Black folks. He helped a lot of Black folks. It's kind of like FedEx was what Ford was to Detroit back in the day. Fred Smith was our Henry Ford down here. He put FedEx. I worked at FedEx for one summer doing my home from college. I quit and they called it a plantation. A lot of us worked at that. A lot of Black folks worked in the plantation, still do. But I remember like FedEx hub was at the airport, right? And people be late for work, and so people kept on getting all these speeding tickets over there. The workers, the Black workers, for the most part, would be driving, because you got to drive to the parking lot, park your car, and get a shuttle bus to take you to the hub, to the actual hub site. But you park your car across the street, and people used to get a lot of speeding tickets. And Fred Smith made a phone call. Got no more speeding tickets over there. And he was able to get to work. Even if he was late, he was able to get to work without a speeding ticket, from my understanding. But Fred Smith helped a lot of people. A lot of Black people got helped by Fred Smith. My mom worked almost 30 years for FedEx. He did a lot of things in community service and stuff like that. So this is not to demonize Fred Smith when I said those things, because it's actually documented. But what I'm saying is, do you feel that a Black person would get the same type of benefits as Fred Smith to redeem him or herself? Because Fred Smith was like, he had money, he had connections, powerful connections. He's a Yale graduate, member of Skull and Bones, very close friends with George W. Bush Jr., also John Kerry. Had the resources to start this amazing multi-billion-dollar global enterprise. A lot of Black folks, we don't have them type of resources. You understand? His father was one of the founding members of what is now known as Greyhound, and his father's company, Tuttle House, became Waffle House. The people that was involved in Tuttle House, they ended up forming Waffle House. So, I mean, Fred Smith came from privilege, but I'm sure he had the demons he had to deal with. But do you think a Black person could have hit and ran and killed somebody back in 1974 and only got a $250 bond in America? This is down south. I did a thing about Elton Hayes, who didn't even drive a car. He was a passenger in the car. This is a teenager from Orange Mound back in the early 1970s. This a couple years, several years before Fred Smith hit and ran. You had 40 law officers beat this man to death. Beat this boy to death. Beat this boy to death. You had 40 law enforcement officers, including a Black sheriff deputy, involved in unaliving a teenager who did not drive a car. His friend drove the car that was his father's car and did it without his father's consent. So this is a couple years before Fred Smith. He done ran a handyman named George Sturgill. So what I'm saying is, I say all this to say he has done a lot of great things, but I saw that the New York Times talk about it in his obituary. I think the Washington Post talked about it, but he was able to redeem himself, with his company. Do you think any black person would have the chance? Do you understand that a lot of our ancestors, you had black folks that were killed for looking white folks in the eye. You had black folks that were put in mental institutions for not getting out the sidewalk for little babies, little white babies. I mean, elderly folk not getting out the sidewalk for a little white baby. We put you in prison. We put you in a mental institution. You reckless eyeball and you look at a white woman, gonna kill you. So this is the country. I'm just saying, like that Jerry Jones picture that came out. They showed him like he was at one of them black people trying to integrate a school in Little Rock or Arkansas. Got a young Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. He's looking with the white mob that's intimidating the black people, trying to integrate with the good white folk. And then he said something that, he was just curious. He didn't deny that was him in the photo. He just said, I was just curious. Curiosity got 14-year-old Emmett Till killed in the 1950s. But curiosity inspires a Jerry Jones to own a football team that controls black men. But Emmett Till was not allowed to make it out the 1950s, unlike Jerry Jones. And I'm just saying, I'm gonna talk about this because, like I said, I have no ill will towards the legacy of Mr. Fred Smith. He did a lot for people, and in particular black folk in this city. But I think it's interesting that people say it's over for Diddy and any other black man, Shannon Sharp. Oh, it's over for them. But yet, white folks save their people. They protect their own. So what I'm saying with the sister Towanna Murphy, and all I'm saying is that y'all give her some grace. She's an interesting person. She said a lot of controversial stuff. I mean, look who she was trained by, Thaddeus Matthews. And he's very much missed right now in Memphis. His voice, his journalistic gifts are missed right now. But give the sister some grace, man. I ain't the biggest fan, whatever, but I don't have no ill will towards anybody. But I'm saying, if y'all can celebrate white people that have missteps in their lives and you don't hold them account, you don't tarnish their whole legacy, give black people a chance. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's strange to think about. But anyway, enough of that. Like I said, Fred Smith helped my family. Several family members work for FedEx. I have gotten things because of my connection with FedEx. Matter of fact, when Fred Smith FedEx allowed his employees to jump seat, my mom was helping me when I went to school in St. Louis. My freshman year, I was having a hard time adjusting, trying to utilize. I come from that Oregon Trail generation. I didn't grow up with the internet. The internet and all this stuff started coming in towards the end of my high school career. So when I got to school, I was kind of intimidated with the technology. But it was because of Fred Smith allowing his employees to jump seat. My mom, Dr. Callie Hurd, senior computer program analyst, would jump seat my freshman year, the fall semester. She would jump seat to St. Louis to teach me how to use the internet over the weekends. So I thank him for that. Like I said, it's not a bashing thing. I just want to hey, ease up on Towanna, y'all. I give her some grace. She's trying. Lord knows she's trying. But anyway, but yeah, I just want to say that because people will misconstrue what I say on this thing, and they like to blame the messenger. They hate the truth teller. I got people around me that say they love me, but they hate me, and I can feel it because I'm empathic like that. But yet, I try to leave y'all alone, but y'all keep on trying to poke the bear. I'm trying to walk away, and y'all keep on trying to poke the bear. So with that said, God bless them. And I guess